I don't know what it is. Hi, my name is Courtney, and I'm very passionate. Excuse me. I'm very passionate about helping women with invisible illnesses realize that you can still lead a pretty healthy and active lifestyle. I guess I kind of need to change that because I haven't been super healthy lately. But anyway, here we are, nevertheless. Um, that's actually one of the reasons I revived my live streams. Is it does help me stay on track because then I'm talking about the things I need to be doing. So anyway, friendship's really tricky for me. I'm extremely outgoing, and I can go to a party and talk to literally anybody in the room. Doesn't bother me, but I'm also a lot better with people on a superficial level. I do great with small talk, but when it starts getting personal, like, whoa, 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 sister, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks. Nice to see you, but I got to go. And to add that to the chronic illness where I just don't want to leave the house very often. And I'm not a very good friend. I'll own that all day. I got to find a better thing to set this on because it's so shaky. Anyway, I'm not a very good friend. I know this. But am I a bad friend? I don't think so. This information, by the way, is from selfstairway.com. So bad friends do things like they assume that everybody has their same undesirable qualities. For example, if you're a gossip, you're going to assume that everybody else is a gossip, whether you have any evidence to support that or not. I really hope you're not. Gossip's one of those things I try to avoid. I truly do. Now, am I perfect? Absolutely not. I'm only human, and I think we all have that temptation. But you got to remember that anybody who gossips with you, they're going to gossip about you as soon as your back is turned. Bad friends refuse to accept responsibility. Look, if you've come to a conflict in your relationship with somebody, any relationship, you have a responsibility there. Sometimes things are just your fault. Don't try to shift the blame, especially if it's somebody that you value. Don't shift the blame. Just accept responsibility. And you know what? Sometimes in a relationship, you end up accepting responsibility for things that maybe aren't entirely your fault, but somebody needs to accept it so you guys can move on. So you should always be willing to accept it, certainly your share of the responsibility. And any relationships are never 50-50. Never. It's usually 70-30, 60-40, 80-20. Hell, sometimes 90-10. It's really rare for something to be truly 50-50. So, sometimes you need to offer the other person a little grace and accept responsibility for the conflict. Oh, I had another point, but yeah, anyway. You're a bad friend if you only call when you need something. Well, certainly nobody likes a fair weather friend. Don't do that to people. That's so crappy. Number 4, you're a bad friend if you're always trying to one up everybody. If you've always had it better or worse, you're not a very good friend. You need to let people be. Sometimes people just want to express themselves. And if they're happy, certainly if they're really happy, don't. Don't try to one up that. And I'll be honest, sometimes I think I fall into this not because I'm trying to one up somebody, but because I'm trying to, hey, look, I can understand why you're so excited about this, or I can understand why you're so unhappy about this. And it's something I need to be a little more aware of, honestly. But you don't want to try to one up somebody all the time. We all know people like that. You probably just had somebody run through your mind. Number 5, a bad friend doesn't listen. Look, most of us listen to respond. We don't listen to understand. But if you really value somebody's friendship, or maybe it's some other kind of relationship, if you value that person, you need to learn to listen with the intention of understanding. And finally, number 6, you're a bad friend if you don't keep your word. People need to know they can rely on you. Of course, if they can't rely on you, with what's the friendship about? So let's talk about being a good friend. Good friends, look, if you sense that something is wrong, a good friend will always ask, "Hey, what's going on? Are you okay?" Now, good friends are also not going to pry. You should never pry into somebody's personal life. And I will tell people, look, I'm not trying to pry at all. But if you want to talk about it, I'm here for you. So just make sure people know that you're willing to listen, you're willing to be supportive, and certainly let them know you're aware there's something bothering them. But again, don't be pushy, because that would make you a bad friend. Number 2, good friends pay attention. Sometimes when we're talking to somebody, especially if we're listening with the intention of responding instead of understanding, we're not reading the room. And somebody's telling you something very serious and you pop off with a sarcastic or snarky comment trying to be funny, and it's just not appropriate. That you can really hurt somebody's feelings by doing that. So you need to pay attention to what's going on. You need to make sure that if you're about to drop a what you find absolutely hilarious comment, you just need to make sure it's appropriate to the topic at hand, which if you're listening with the intention of understanding, you'll know. Just saying. Number 3, a good friend is there when needed. A good friend is always going to be there when needed. And I have to say, I'm not good at reaching out to my good friends, but I really am blessed with some amazing friends. I have a handful of people I know I could pick up the phone and say, look, I really need help. I need help. And they're going to do whatever they can to help me. That's a blessing. They're good friends. Number 4, a good friend, they make time for you. This is another area where I really stumble, especially being in Alaska in the winter and having the health issues that I have. I don't want to accept invitations. I don't want to go I'm sorry, I don't want to go anywhere. I just don't. Judge that however you need to judge that. I get very reclusive in the winter. I'm very isolated because I hate the cold. But I can't be a good friend if I never accept invitations. So quite often, even though I really don't want to go out in the cold, I'll go with you. And you know what? I very rarely regret it when I actually make myself go somewhere. I will dread it all the way out the door. I will dread it all the way out while I'm driving. But once I'm there and I'm with my friends, I very rarely have regretted going out. Number 5, good friends learn to apologize. If you're wrong, just own it. Hey, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. Hey, I'm sorry I was a jerk the other day. When you accept responsibility for things like that, it shows somebody that you value their friendship. And if you just blow it off, oh, you got your feelings hurt. That's so ridiculous. Don't do that. It's so shitty and dismissive. You're not a good friend if you do that, obviously. And finally, number 6, a good friend's not going to give up on you in your darkest hour. Again, people need to be able to rely on you. And when it's hard to ask for help. If somebody trusts you enough to reach out and ask you for help, sometimes we're busy. Sometimes it's, oh my God, I don't have time for this. But you need to stop and think about what an honor it is that they trust you that much, that they think that highly. Now, I'm not talking about someone who takes advantage of you, obviously. We're not talking about bad friends. But if someone that you really like and you have a good relationship with, when they're going through some shit, you need to be there. Don't abandon someone in their darkest. Y'all be surprised how many people freaking do that. Or maybe you would, but a lot of freaking people do that. When I first started having severe health issues, my friendship circle just exploded. It was crazy. People were just, it was one of my darkest hours. And, I found out I didn't have a lot of friends. I have way better people in my life at this point than I did back then. But that's because I'm a nicer person now than I was back then. And I've also I can't say I'm a lot more careful who I'm friends with, but because I like to believe the best about everybody. I truly do. And I'll give everybody a chance. But I guess I've just been blessed to have some amazing people in my life. But that's all I have for today. I hope y'all have a great afternoon and evening. And I will see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Oh, no, tomorrow's Sunday. I got to go to church. I don't know what time I'll be on tomorrow because I'm not sure what time. I haven't been to this church yet, so I don't know what time they get out. So it'll probably be close to noon because its service starts at 10:30, I think. So I should be home by noon. So probably 12, 12:30, but I'm not entirely sure. But I'll have an update on how church went. So